Just not a problem. Please, just give me something, please. Just give me some light at the end of this tunnel.
What's up, blokes? Francis here with Stitches.
How's it going?
Just give us a quick intro. Like, who are you guys? What is Stitches?
Do you know? Three-piece rock band from Auckland.
Yeah.
Hugh's not here, he's the bassist, but there's two of us, JP, singer and guitarist, predominantly the songwriter,
Yeah.
and I jam up the drums.
Sweet.
Also, like long walks on the beach.
Will Smith's film career.
Will Smith's film career. Yeah. High fives. Yeah.
I think everyone's in that boat with Will Smith.
Yeah, I know, right? Try.
So what's the story of Stitches? Like, how did you guys all come together?
So, back in about 2011, I was writing some tunes in my office, and basically just playing as whoever would listen, and basically a bloke called Dave Johnson, who would eventually produce our EP, got a hold of them, and he sort of said, "Hey, that's pretty good. We could do something with this." And then later, basically once we sort of got the production ball rolling, we kind of like wanted to look at how we could manifest it in a live sense. So me and the boys started jamming, which was awesome. And then since then, we've kind of moved on from it being my writing project into a genuine band, and we're writing a lot more stuff together, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that is how Stitches was made.
Yeah. Sweet. So it started as you got recording stuff. You're like, I want to play this live.
Yep.
How can
Picked up the stragglers.
Filled those voids.
Yeah.
So how did you guys individually get into music, and sort of what inspired you to be in a band?
What inspired me to play music, a guy I didn't like in school played drums.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be better than him, basically.
It's a good way to start.
Good.
Yeah. And myself and Hugh were in a band in high school.
Okay.
We sucked, but it's how
That's
that's how we got into music. Yeah.
It
was cool. And back then Hugh played guitar and sung,
Okay.
but now he's on the bass.
What did I do? My first memory of music, rather than listening to it, was when I was 5, and I got taken to guitar lessons, and I'm left-hander, and they told me to play it right-handed, and it broke me, and I wasn't able to even bother trying to play again until I was 17. So literally when I was 17, the stupid thing is when I was 17, I then decided that not only did I want to learn to play guitar, I wanted my life to be music. So I actually finished high school poorly. Finished it but not with adequate results or anything else.
Yeah.
And so then I applied to get into music school at Mains, and I got into the foundation course, which was like a miracle. I think Mary Had a Little Lamb was a challenge at the time, but they saw something in me, and then I got through about 3 years of that, and then obviously I've always had a big love of rock music, starting out in Nirvana. I remember driving down the road, I was 10, listening to Nirvana and being like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. And then from there, basically since then, just been wanting to write some songs with some big, heavy, distorted guitars and make some silly noises with my voice.
Sweet. So on there, sort of what is the writing process like for you guys? You mentioned you sort of spearheaded it initially.
Yeah.
Is it like a riff-based or melody-based approach?
We do.
We kind of riff it.
We riff it a lot.
Yeah.
Someone will bring in a riff, and then it's just like, oh yeah, cool, feel that, and then chuck some drums in, or whatever, chuck some bass guitars on it, and then the vocals kind of just flow from there as well.
Yeah.
On the spot, there's nothing that's really
Okay.
Yeah, that's the sort of writing process that we've been going through in recent months, which has been really fun.
Yeah.
And in the past, I've sort of driven it from a vocal angle as well, writing songs mostly vocally as well. So it's different every time.
Yeah.
I guess the main thing is as long as we sort of can collectively
Agree on
it, and that it's not shit.
Yeah.
That's in our
pretty
opinion.
simple pre-read. Just not shit.
Just not shit. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Is this shit?
Sometimes you would need to step back after you've been consumed by a song for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You need to step back and listen to it, maybe like a week or so later, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite work.
Is that actually good?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So do you guys have any pre-show rituals or any specific warm-ups or things that get you in the zone for a show?
PPS.
Elaborate.
Oh, no, sorry. PSS, pre-show shit.
Oh yeah.
That's what
That's an
Gotta
sure I
avoid the
go on
vowels,
for.
eh?
Yeah. Avoid it all.
What do I do? So for me, I before a show, I like gaffer tape everything in my setup to make sure that no leads come out and no strats fall off, because
From experience.
from experience, yeah. And then from there, I basically just work on not worrying too much about how things go.
Yeah.
Because anxiety is it's a bit of a stage killer.
Yeah.
For me. So that's basically vocal warm up. So I probably spend about 10, 20, 30 minutes, depending on what the time is and depending on where I actually have in terms of space to do it. Because sometimes all you're left with is a toilet in some random town.
Yeah.
you
Make do with what you got.
You don't really want to be that strange guy from out of town that's singing in the toilet.
It's always a good sight though, going outside at King's Arms and you see Hugh and JP in the car going. Basically looks like they've hotboxed the car and they're like going hard, but
Yeah.
Have you tried anything for that anxiety I mentioned? Like, have you tried any sort of like getting out, saying something quiet or anything like that to prepare for it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Done all that. Definitely going for a bit of a walk around helps. But the main thing is, I think, is just getting into a space of mind where you don't actually you kind of don't give a crap. You don't give a crap if it goes bad because you've done everything that you can do to make it go good.
Yeah.
And then it's easy because, if you miss the first chord, and
Plenty more up.
Yeah. Plenty more fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Not that you need it where your head Don't it seem funny how a death can be good for a life?
So earlier this year, you guys released your EP, Harder Times. How was the response? And how has it been different as a band having an EP out as opposed to a few songs?
Do you want to?
the response for each individual song is quite different.
Okay.
Like, because it varies. You've got Light, which is quite groovy, less hard. You've got Blowing Your Harem, which is on the harder edge. Then you've got Fuck Them, which is quite mellow, but still drives hard in the chorus. And there's a lot of people that go, "Oh, how come you didn't play that song tonight?" And it's like, well, there's 5 songs in the EP plus our new stuff. We can't get around everything.
Yeah.
But everyone seems to find something on the album to relate to, which is on the EP, to relate to, which is cool.
Yeah. It's been really cool. It's been a sort of a bubbling away effect, kind of just you don't really feel like anything's actually really happening until you sort of get a little bit of an opportunity, and it's kind of like cool, because it is cool. So and having a couple of tunes on the radio is really great. For the whole sort of recognizing, and also obviously good for self-esteem. So it's pretty cool. No, it's been a lot of fun. I suppose sometimes it's kind of hard to believe that it was only in March that we did that, because it seems like a lot of stuff has happened between then and now.
Like, as far as getting on to sort of tours or play shows with other bands, does having a release help that rather than just a few songs?
I don't really know. It's hard to say that because we went from having a single. We had a single for probably about 6 months before the record dropped. But since then, it's sort of like, so in that 6 months, things were quite hard. But in that 6 months, no one had heard of us anyway. We're just our songs put on the radio every now and then. It probably doesn't quite have as much penetration as you'd think. So I don't know if it actually helps with getting tours and things like that. An example, there's certainly bands out there that get tours off the back of a good song, not a record. But it certainly helps in terms of, it's something to sell at the desk. you know, people buy it and then they come back to the next show because they like it, and that sort of thing, that really helps in that regard.
Yeah, so it helps with that sort of follow on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's just something extra to chuck on the CV kind of thing when you're going up to ask, hey, when we play, and go, oh, we've got a couple of songs that have been on, everything, and they go, oh, okay. But we've never been explicitly told that was the reason that you were picked for something.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, cool. You supported your release with a nationwide tour with Setting Fire to Stacey.
Yes, we did.
So how did that tour go?
Do you want to take that one?
Ups and downs.
Yeah.
There were some terrible shows and some awesome shows.
Yeah.
Like Auckland was awesome. That was like, I think it was King's Arms, that was pretty packed.
Yeah.
Christchurch, Churchill's pretty packed. That was quite loose, that was cool. The in-betweens were a bit iffy. I suppose it's because we weren't our hometowns and we had never been there. It's like uncharted territory. Wellington was abysmal.
But the most important thing along the way is that we had lots of laughs.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Had the tour stories.
Had the tour stories. Yeah, which were probably pretty tame by a lot of tour stories, but still come up even now. So yeah. But no, and obviously they're a great bunch of guys, very talented musicians and an awesome band. And they'd also been touring with a few big bands before that, and that was sort of our first tour out on the road as a group. So we sort of picked up a bit of feedback from them, and it was good. It was a good experience.
Yeah, their professionalism, you can tell that they'd done it a few times before.
Yeah.
Which was nice to kind of pick up and learn from them.
Yeah. Learn from them, so you don't have to do it yourself. Sort of. Learn from their mistakes,
Yeah. No. We definitely made our fair share of mistakes.
Yeah. As you did.
Yeah.
Now you guys sort of like to play a few covers.
Yeah.
And definitely make them your own.
Cool.
How do you go about choosing the songs? Because you've made some interesting choices in the past, and do you think you'll put together a Stitches cover album?
Do a Stone Sour.
How do we go about picking our songs?
Yeah, you got to kind of pick something that's not airbashed at the time.
Okay.
Not. Yeah.
That doesn't explain Lord though.
No. But
It was definitely
it had its run by that point.
You're right. You're right. I personally like, when I think about cover songs, I think about it can't be a rock song if you're going to cover it as a rock band.
Yeah.
Because if you're covering a rock song as a rock band, it's kind of like you're just an elaborate covers band, which is cool. But if you're an originals band, it's not cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like at the base of the song, is it actually kind of rock and roll?
Does it transfer well?
Yeah.
Does it transfer across well? Is it and is it still sort of in the essence of your band?
Yep.
And like such as we don't really sort of I don't think we're going to cover like the likes of Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Not like we're not really happy. I don't. Well, we're happy individuals. I'm pretty happy. Neil seems pretty happy a lot of the time. She was happy.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the music, it always comes across as pretty aggressive and a little bit dark, but still rock and roll.
Yeah.
So usually it's something that sort of fits within the realms of that. So not a lot of happy sort of I'm not going to cover like.
Going to cover Pharrell.
Yeah, literally happy.
Yeah.
It's probably not the next song
Yeah.
on our list to cover. Yeah.
It's cool that you put that amount of thought into it. It's like, okay, what's popular? Cool, we'll do that.
Yeah,
Actually really get into it.
Yeah. It's pretty important fit with what you're actually trying to do as a
band,
overall rock.
Heaven never waits you, so wipe that blood from your hands, blood from your hands.
Dave Johnson from Villainy produced your EP, and you guys went on tour with him for the Ammunition tour.
Mm-hmm.
How much of the New Zealand live rock scene do you think is based on relationships between bands, and what would you recommend to new bands wanting to get into this scene?
Go to live shows.
Yeah.
If you're a new band and you don't know many people, go to live shows, spin some yarns, say hey. It's cool just like getting out there and showing face. Because if you're someone that just kind of hides a lot of the time, and it's a bit harder to make those connections with other bands.
Yeah.
Totally. Let's say in the New Zealand rock scene, networking seems to be pretty important.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just a case of, to that point, that's how you're going to get around it, is just by going out and introducing yourself to people and saying hi, even just firing off an email, hey, I really like your music, we should play a show sometime. that kind of stuff. I think it all helps. Yeah.
With the New Zealand music industry as well, it's kind of 2 degrees of separation.
Really?
It's quite
Like
quite small and kind of tight knit
independent
almost.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, oh, you know this guy. Oh, yeah, we played a show with those guys before,
Oh,
kind of
right,
thing.
yeah.
And like everyone kind of
Knows someone.
knows someone who like it's cool.
Yeah. So your song Light has gotten some great exposure on the radio. How important do you think it is getting a song on the radio for a New Zealand band?
So a song on the radio, what it does for you is it exposes you to fans that are literally rock fans that don't know you or aren't mates with your mates, or you know, occasionally go to the club that you go to, the rock show place like Ding Dong Lounge that you go to.
Yeah.
And so it basically, you know, it creates a potential for a complete stranger to hear music and enjoy it, and then want to share that with their friends. So basically, you know, potentially catalyst for a whole new fan base, which is cool. And also there's the element of, you know, it's sort of one of the pinnacles that a lot of musicians and bands aim for, particularly in the realm of pop and rock music, is to get on the radio, because it's sort of almost like it's a box to tick. It's like, you know, that means that you're doing well. So it seems pretty important. The potential, I mean, we've had a couple of tunes on radio. They haven't really made it to a really high rotation, but it's potential is that it can do a lot of good. You know, particularly if it's a good song and it's getting a lot of rotation, it can do a lot of good for a band. Yeah. But if it doesn't quite get to that level, then the good it can do is certainly
Bit of extra exposure.
And also something to as a stepping stone to reach higher things.
Yeah. And it gets you that sort of nationwide.
Exactly.
Can get that nationwide exposure sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Well. Like people that, like you said, aren't your friends, aren't your sort of aren't from your hometown.
Not that I wouldn't want them to be my friends.
Yeah.
No,
No,
usually nice people.
Usually.
I suppose it's always cool, like checking out Facebook and going, oh, these are the friends that like it, the family that like it. Oh, random people from like Hawera or something. And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, they've obviously heard it and they've liked it and checked us out. That's
you go on that extra
kind of
mile to
rewarding.
actually
It's
find you
cool.
guys.
Which is quite humbling as well.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. So 2014 has been pretty big for you guys. What have you got lined up for 2015?
We've got this show in January or something. We're obviously playing The Music Is Dead show, and our set's on January 17 at the King's Arms.
Yep.
And then we've been working on new music for probably the last, as long as I can remember. And we've got a demo session that we're going to lay down some of these tracks early in the year. Cool. And from there we've got some exciting plans that we're still formulating.
Yep.
So
I'll leave it up to your imagination.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Which may or may not include a blimp. And also so a dragon. Yeah. It may or may not include.
Always cool with dragon.
Yeah. Well, was I saying to you just before?
A blimp in the shape of a dragon?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, but we can't confirm. A blimp in the shape of a dragon. Yeah.
I'll be hoping for one, right?
Okay.
There's no one in the hall, you know, but you better look to us, cause it makes you feel better. No one followed you home.
So what are your guys' thoughts on the current state of New Zealand rock music?
It's heading in a good direction.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Nothing on that one.
There's a lot of great bands, a lot of great people in the New Zealand rock scene.
Yeah.
And so with that kind of you know, what do they say? It's like a sports analogy that you know, the team, you know, the A team's only as good as the people that are coming up through the ranks as well, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way, then the overall picture's looking pretty strong.
Yeah.
But also you look at the legacy bands like She Had, you know, Blacklist picking up the Vodafone, the VNZMA.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. I've had trouble with that acronym before.
Yeah.
Took the V at the end.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, New Zealand Music Awards Vodafone. And so I think overall it's looking really good.
Yeah.
And hopefully the government can find it, and it's hard to support more up and coming rock bands.
Yeah.
And more fun and games for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
with that kind of,
community is real strong at the moment. Eh?
It feels that way.
Yeah.
it is cool. With that kind of like support and stuff from government, everything is going to give you a better kickstart into the other countries.
No, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Which is what this country kind of needs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, but with, you know, kind of helping hand, so to say, it'll get a lot further.
Get a lot further,
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of stuff happening overseas, like with what's the band called? Like a Storm.
Yeah.
And stuff, getting New Zealand rock exposure over there, like heaps of it.
Mm.
And then also even the pop bands and stuff, just getting New Zealand on the map as far as music is concerned. A lot of the time, like it's a lot of that is gonna. Do you think a lot of that's gonna cross over?
I'd love it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love. I would love similar success levels to Lord.
Yeah.
As a direct result of Lord. That would be fantastic. So if you could. But in all honesty, it's you can sort of see how it might happen. Obviously, because this one massive international star has been spawned in recent times from New Zealand, that perhaps the right eyes will be on New Zealand's music,
Seeing what's going on.
see what's going on. Maybe they'll cherry pick a few others, but
Well, Katy Perry seems to pick up the whole New Zealand kind of thing, doesn't she? She picked up Naked and Famous for her USA tour, was it?
And she toured with old Zoe.
Zoe,
A few years back as well. So, Katy
And has a
Perry.
finger in our pie.
I don't know if Katy Perry's gonna look for stitches
No.
to open up. It's probably not a good match. You know,
Who knows that?
who knows? Yeah.
Maybe she'll release a rock album.
Well, I know that that Lord. I saw pictures and stuff of Lord being pretty good, getting along pretty well with Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
So maybe he's. I don't know. When he comes over in March, I'll ask him.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
February. Some
Feel like
February.
this.
Yeah. I'll have a yarn. Spin a yarn.
Yeah.
Yarn over a brew.
Yeah.
Sweet, we just got one more. What do you guys think defines an NZ bloke?
Daniel.
Ooh. Beards are a step in a good direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fan of the beard.
I don't know. I kind of think of when you think of like the quintessential New Zealand bloke, you know, I think of a black singlet, stubbies, gummies, in a farm. It's basically what I think. But we're not all there. I mean, a quarter of New Zealand's population is in Auckland. It's quite hard to do that. But like just as being a straight up good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no bullshit. Just
Pure of heart.
yeah.
But drink beer. And beards.
Beards.
So.
Still working on that.
Yeah. It's been a long journey so far, and my results are less than to be desired.
Well, sweet guys, thanks for coming on.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for having us.
And thanks to Ding Dong Lounge for having us here. And we will catch you guys later.
Bye.
See ya.
For yourself in the end. Don't let those bad words catch your soul. Gotta let them go. Once on face, stand up for yourself in the long run. Stand up for yourself in the end. Stand up for yourself in the long run. Don't let those bad words catch your soul. Let them go.
Get the old like. Look at the camera. So I'll answer every question like looking right at the camera.
Barrel the lens.
Well, Francis.
Cool, going. Sweet. Good to go. Alright.